Yo, what's going on, guys? It's CARSN. I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard. Let's get it.
With my family in this music, I'm a triple threat. Double C's rushing out. I saw wrist behind the wheel.
All right, so we got CARSN jumping off the porch with us today.
What's going on? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Welcome. How you feeling, man?
Good, bro. It's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming by today, too.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I tried to do a little bit of research on you, man. So I saw that you were originally from North Carolina, right?
Yep. Yeah, I lived in North Carolina for the first 20 years of my life. So born and raised there. And then I moved eventually. So, yeah.
What city are you from?
Greensboro, High Point.
Okay.
That area, yeah.
Okay. I've had a bunch of rappers from High Point, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of music in High Point. I feel like there's not like a lot of like spotlight on it, but there's a lot of music in High Point, that whole area.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of talent in that
Oh,
area,
for sure.
too.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So let's take it back to your childhood. Like, what were you into as a kid growing up there in North Carolina?
So like as a child, like I grew up, like playing sports. Like I played soccer, I wrestled, and then I also raced cars. My family, my whole bloodline, everybody's into racing. So grew up racing cars, and then around like 14, 15, I started making music, and then, took that seriously ever since, alongside other things. So.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So going to the racing, understand you into that too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love, I love racing. It's I got just as strong as a passion for it as I do for music. So, I'm just trying to figure out how, I can make those go both hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like moving forward. So, but yeah, it's different. It's dope. I love it for sure.
Yeah. What do you normally be racing?
I've ran like late models. I've ran, GT3 Porsche Cup cars.
Oh, nice.
I've raced in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So, yeah, I've definitely raced a lot of different stuff in a lot of different series.
Yeah.
So,
Did you ever consider going pro with it?
Well, I mean, considering the Xfinity Series, I mean, I did,
Okay.
I'm still, certified and still approved to go run the Xfinity Series. So that's just kind of been on the side, because I've really, fully dove into music lately and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but, moving forward, that's going to come, to be hand in hand and, doing different things with that alongside music. So.
No, that's super dope. You ever win any like professional races then, or like what was your best finish?
Yeah, I've won races in like the GT3 Cup cars. I've won races in late models and stuff, but in the Xfinity Series is super competitive.
Yeah.
So I think like my best is like 19th or 18th right now in the Xfinity Series. But I mean, considering, sometimes there's 40 car fields, it's still good, but still haven't got one yet, but it'll come for sure.
I got you, man. So when would you say you jumped off the porch then? How old were you?
I'd probably say like 15. Yeah, probably 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching one of your interviews that said you had to go away for 10 months when you were 16, right?
Yeah, I was I was in school playing soccer, and that's when I had started, smoking and doing other things, and I ended up getting into some trouble. So then I had to go away for it was like 10 and a half months. It was like a juvenile kind of behavioral camp, basically, is what it was. So that was exciting. Yeah, that was.
It's an experience, I'm
sure.
Oh
yeah. Like I'll never forget it. Honestly, and it was easily probably like one of like the worst sections of my life. For sure. But I'm kind of glad it happened, being on the other side of it, because it taught me a lot and I learned a lot from it. So, I say that now that I'm on the other side. In the moment, I was.
You hated that shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like we had people trying to do shit to get sent to jail to get out of there. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Fuck.
It was crazy, but now I'm on the other side, and it is what it is now. So.
Yeah. What do you feel like was the biggest takeaway by having to go through that experience there?
I guess probably seeing who was actually reaching out to check on me during that time. You know what I mean? Because my phone calls and everything were limited. Visits super spread out. You know what I mean? They'll monitor your phone calls, so you don't really have any real communication. But my mom will be like, hey, this person reached out. This and that. So it was cool to see, who actually did reach out, and see the other people who didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They considered me as one of their close friends. So that was probably that. But,
Yeah, I'm sure that was definitely an eye opener.
Oh, for
you
sure.
too,
Yeah, for sure.
So you come back home. Do you finish school, or what do you do at that point?
Nah, I dropped out of school in the 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, high school.
So what was your parents' reaction when you dropped out in 10th grade?
They definitely didn't like it, for sure. That's not any parent's, dream or goal for their kid. But, there was just a lot of stuff going on at that time. So, it was just kind of like another thing added to, just the kind of chaos that, I had myself in at the time. So, but, we're still good. So.
I got you. So where does this passion for music, making music come from? How long have you been doing this now?
I mean, like looking back, like, I always had a huge passion for music, like as a kid, you know what I mean? Like when I would get grounded, like when I'd be in my bedroom, like I'd be doing like fake concerts and stuff, like as like a young kid,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just always had this, love or, passion for music and like some sort of like performing or, whether it was playing an instrument. I didn't know what it was gonna be or like how it would turn out, but I know like I wanted like something to do with it. And then, screwing around freestyling with friends kind of turned into like me taking writing more serious. And then, one thing led to another, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who'd you grow up listening to? Who were some of your favorite artists back in the day?
Definitely listen to like, a lot of like Eminem and Dre. But like also too, I have an older brother and like I listen to like a lot of different stuff too, like, like Panic at the Disco and like Paramore songs, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So like, Lil Wayne, like a lot of different artists, but definitely like a mixture of both sides, for sure, like Linkin Park, My Chemical Romance, like stuff like that. So just kind of like a lot of different stuff, like at an early age, yeah.
So when would you say you started taking music serious? Has this been something recent?
No, I've been taking it seriously, like, fully dedicated to it by the time I was like 18, like, later on when I was 17, obviously just didn't have as much of a snowball effect as far as like progression goes, as it has like recently. But, it's been probably like, 7 years total, so.
Okay, so for a while.
Yeah, and entirely me making music, but like, the dedicated time, like just fully focusing on music, probably like 4 years.
Okay.
So.
How would you describe that grind these past 4 years then?
It's definitely not easy. It's definitely really easy to like get into a mindset of like, damn, like, like I feel like this isn't going anywhere, or like am I not doing enough, or do I not have enough to put into it, or like a lot of things like that. So like you just gotta keep going and keep going, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like you literally just can't stop, you know what I mean? And I feel like over time, the ones that really don't love it truly, fall off with it, but with me, like I'm gonna keep going regardless. So, hopefully it takes me to the top. So,
Yeah,
for sure.
Explain the ILY CARSN.
Okay, yeah. So I got the ILY thing because my grandma passed away. I was super close to my grandma, and when she passed away, I had already kind of like been wanting to get a face tattoo, and that happened. So later on, I ended up getting the tattoo. So it stands for I love you and I lost you. But like, I'm gonna, like that's in the works of being like, part of my clothing and like branding and all that kind of stuff. And then also too, regardless of that, it has a deeper meaning for my grandma, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dig that, man.
For
So
sure.
what's your creative process like? Do you write? Do you punch in? Do a little bit of both, or what?
Yeah, it's really like a lot of different stuff. Sometimes it's more fluent than others. It's a lot easier to get stuff out. Sometimes me and like, my boy Evan with Digital Sauce will work on, writing more, in depth and like taking songs, like really serious, like lyrically and stuff like that. So it just depends, you know what I mean? But, all in all, our mindset and, my mindset during our recording process, it's, it's always a vibe, and it's always really easy to make really good songs. So, hell yeah.
When do you feel like you make your best music then? It's like when you're in a good mood, when you're going through some real life shit, you pissed off, or?
The music I make, it's always off like past experiences, you know what I mean? Like, and, things I've gone through or going through currently, or like, just like, positive stuff about life, that's, my always, like forefront whenever I'm like writing and stuff. But like sometimes we'll make a song, I've been over at the studio, it'll be 3, 4 in the morning, and we'll make this one song, that we ended up really liking and stuff like that. So it is, sometimes it comes out of nowhere, sometimes it's planned, because I'm in the studio every week. So,
oh wow, okay.
Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, when I'm supposed to be in the studio, or sometimes it's like a random off the deal, like, one of those times we're in the studio all night. So
yeah,
just depends.
I got you, man. And so you used to live in Nashville too, right?
Yeah, I was in Nashville for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like pretty much a full year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first off, what kind of motivated that move out there?
Just music and stuff. Kind of was one of the places that I was trying to like figure out if it was going to be good, like business-wise. As like far as an artist, like being down there, it's considered Music City and stuff like that. So, but thankfully that introduced me to like Digital Sauce, like I said, Evan and Mello, and a lot of other people that then, with that relationship brought me over here with them as well.
Okay.
So, it was only a year that I was out there, but within that year, built the relationships, and, I don't think I'd be here like without like the time I spent, in Nashville for a year, so.
Yeah. Was it a big leap of faith at the time moving out of your hometown to Nashville, or?
I mean, kind of, sort of. Things happen, as you get older and stuff with friends and stuff like that. So I was kind of more focused on like the longevity of like my life, and like, because I knew I had to make sacrifices, you know what I mean? And, I felt like things were only getting so far, in North Carolina at the time. So, just had to go try and figure it out, you know what I mean? So I was kind of had like a list of places that like I was like, all right, Nashville, and then like Atlanta or LA, you know what I mean? Like I had like a list. I was gonna try and see if one of these places helps me, get this thing going a little quicker.
Yeah. So how long you been in Atlanta now?
It's been a little bit over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit over a year.
Yeah. So what do you think of the music scene here in Atlanta then?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's awesome because like, there's always something going on, there's like always an event, there's always, some sort of show, or like a showcase going on or something like that. Like the sound and the music in Atlanta is crazy, there's legends here. So yeah, no, I love it here. I honestly, I don't have any plans of like moving anytime soon. So.
Okay, yeah. Going back to like the High Point area, why do you feel like that area is so slept on? Because there's a lot of talent that comes from that area though.
Honestly, I don't know why it's slept on. Like, I feel like the closest thing that we kind of had like to it would be like Charlotte with the Baby. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a lot of super good artists. You know what I mean? And a lot of people I made music with. I don't know. Maybe there's just not a big like blog really. I mean, there's like other sources there and stuff, but I don't know. It's like a city kind of like tucked away a little bit, you know what I mean? Like you don't like, whenever you think of North Carolina, like a lot of people don't think of that area. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I got you. So you got to work with Metro Mars. What was that experience like?
Oh, that's like my brother, man. That was a really dope experience. We linked up in the studio. I don't know how long ago that was. That was probably
I think it was like the beginning of this year.
Yeah. So I linked up with him, and we got a song in, and then like moving forward, now we kick it all the time. His dad Trim helps me with management stuff, and that whole team. So yeah, it's dope. So just trying to get in and working with him with a song turned into something a lot bigger that I didn't expect. So super thankful for it. So that's been a dope experience, because it's still continuing. So
that's dope right there, man.
Oh yeah.
How'd you lock in with DJ Holiday?
So Christina, she's an A&R.
Yeah.
she reached out and told me that there was an artist that was getting in the studio, Lil Crank.
Okay, yeah, we had him on the porch.
Yeah, so pulled up to the studio to go, record and write with Crank and stuff. And that made me link up with Mike, like since 8019, and that whole team, and then that led into me meeting Holiday, and Holiday hit me up one time, and he was like, yo, like, let's talk. So I ended up talking to him. He fucks with the music and kind of like the whole vision and plan moving forward. So he kind of jumped on board, and we got Live Life Fast on the radio on Hot 107.9.
Okay.
Just did a show with him out in Alabama, University of Alabama. So that relationship's just been growing as well, and been super dope to work with Holiday. You know what I mean? I used to listen to mixtapes and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
He's a legend.
It's dope. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's like, sometimes it's like kind of like surreal. I kind of have to like slow down. I'm like, yo, like, and like Evan will remind me sometimes too. Like, dude, like a year ago, like if we were hanging out with some of these people or like doing these things, like, bro, like you'd be mind blown. You know what I mean? And I really would be. It's just like, now it's in the moment. I'm just trying to, build and grow off of it. But I'm just like, damn, dude, like, it's sick. It's sick as hell.
Yeah, it's all part of your elevation too.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Entirely.
So how would you describe your growth as an artist from when you first started making music up until today then?
I say it's huge, just because, like the type of music I make, it's, it's not like rap, so it's kind of like more melodic, punk, pop kind of stuff. So, over time I got more comfortable kind of like singing and being more vocal and stuff like that. And I feel like now I'm at, like a really comfortable state with where my music's at, like where it's going and stuff like that. So, it definitely didn't come overnight though, what I'm saying? Even with that whole process too, like, I found like, my pockets and like where, I feel like I'm like, I belong as an artist. So it's been dope.
Yeah.
It's been dope.
You feel like you found your sound at this point, or is it still evolving?
Yeah, I feel like I have, but I feel like it's still evolving too.
Yeah.
Because I feel as an artist, I haven't reached like what I believe I'm capable of, and I just have to keep working on it. But, still definitely, very grateful and satisfied with how it is and where I'm at right now though. So we'll see.
I got you, man. Let's talk about this recent EP, Sex and Nicotine, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I think the title's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, hell yeah. Some rock star shit. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So just talk about the creative process. You got 3 songs on there. So what was it like putting together this project?
It was different, because, from my last project, One Drink Away, it was kind of more slower, kind of like love-ish, heartbreak songs, So this project was more like high energy, kind of like some songs that we just had fun with in the studio and, just recorded and, brought a different energy to it. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really like any plan going into like making any of those songs. It just kind of came about and just, were made, and then we're like, screw it, we're gonna put a project together. Let's put them out. So,
yeah. So what about One Drink Away? What was like putting that EP together?
That was a long process. I say long, but it was probably like a year. Some songs were 2 years old.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, because we recorded songs back in Nashville. So, and we were just holding on to music because, I wanted to drop stuff with the budget, with the plan behind it. I didn't want to just throw music out there and hope it just goes crazy or something, right? Mm-hmm. So, taking advice from other people, turns out like the first project I put out was, about a year. Well, the first project I put out was about like a few months ago.
Okay.
So, but that process was like a year, you know what I mean? As far as, when I was finally putting something serious out, so.
And how was the feedback on One Drink Away?
Really good. I think it was really good, honestly. A lot of people liked the songs. A lot of people, gave me really good feedback on it, and I think it was a really good basis and like foundation for like my sound and like where it can go and like what it's like coming right now. And I think it's a really dope sound. I think it's really authentic, and I think it's gonna be something crazy one day. So I think it's something good to build off of, because like I said, I'm still growing.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a single that you're pushing right now?
Live Life Fast, we were pushing for a while.
Okay.
But we got songs like Young and Dumb and some other songs too coming out. But yeah, Young and Dumb's that's gonna be crazy. So, hell yeah.
Talk to us about that song. What's the inspiration on that one?
Just like high energy, like, I don't know, I guess like a way to envision it is just like like the movie Project X, you know what I mean? Just like being young and dumb, like, you know what I mean? I talk about, you know, like my mom's not like a fan of my tattoos and you know what I'm saying? Just like stuff like that. But like I use stuff like that in like a positive, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck it, you know what I'm saying? My mom still loves me regardless, and she does, you know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? Just like one of those kind of songs. And I think it brings like a really dope energy out of crowds. You know, I've seen that from performances where we've kind of teased it a little bit. So I'm excited for that, and you know, the video and a lot of stuff that's coming with that. So that'll be dope.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What do your performances look like if someone's never been to a CARSN show?
It's gonna be crazy. The energy's gonna be crazy. I mean, my crowd surf. You never know. I mean, every show I'm always trying to think of something I can do that's even more crazy. Where it's like, you know, they'll never forget that. You know what I mean? You know, without getting in trouble. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You gotta limit it sometimes.
Yeah. I don't need any backlash right now.
Understood, man.
Yeah.
So are you working on a new project right now? You kind of just focus on singles, or where are you at right now?
I mean, we're in the studio at least once a week, you know, for at least 4 or 5 hours. So we're always making music, but you know, we've been talking about a project, you know, and putting something out, you know, possibly here soon. But you know, there's definitely a lot of songs being made, and you know, soon we're probably gonna piece together and you know, put something out. Hopefully soon, you know, like an actual official, you know, album.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Who are some of the producers you've been working with lately?
Digital Sauce, you know, you got Jody, Mello, Evan, Trent Waters, you know, there's a whole camp over there, and they're fire as hell. So work with all of them. DJ Silva, work with Silva, Laveau, producers that work with Metro and a lot of other artists. So there's a lot of different people I've been working with. So those are kind of like the main people that, you know, I'd say are involved with music being made right now currently.
You got any other collabs tucked away, or anything you can reveal that any other artists you've been working with?
Well, so I still got my song tucked away with Metro. Got a song tucked away with Crank.
Okay.
And then, you know, there's other stuff that's in the works too, and, you know, songs coming with other artists as well. So I'd say those are the two that, you know, definitely got some, you know, traction behind it. You know, I got songs with Quelly, OG Quelly, a bunch of different artists.
Okay. What do you feel like are some of the pros and cons of being an independent artist in the game right now?
I'd say, you know, being independent right now gives me, you know, the ability to make like decisions whenever like opportunities are presented to me. But at the same time, like, it's like one of those things that you think about, you know, it's like, well, you know, if like I was signed to a label, is that what it's gonna take for me to, you know, go through the roof or something, you know? So like, you know, it has a lot of benefits because, you know, I get to make decisions and I get to move freely and, you know, drop stuff really whenever, you know what I mean? It's really my decision, but, you know, I take advice from other people and, you know, trust other people that have a different point of view and, you know, insight on the game. So it's dope, but, you know, if the right opportunity presents itself or, you know, a label wants to do something, you know, who knows? So it just depends on what it is.
No, understood, man. What's some of your goals for your music career, whether it's short term or long term?
Definitely want to do some shows overseas. That'd be sick.
That'd be hard, yeah.
I don't know, I've just always wanted to do that. And definitely like work with like, you know, certain artists too. You know, it'd be dope to work with like Travis Barker and, you know, a lot of like people like that, you know. And just, I really say, you know, besides like going overseas, just like traveling and like performing at like Madison Square Garden and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, to be able to say you can do that or that you did that and stuff like that, that's crazy. So, you know, the money will come with it, but like doing stuff like that and accomplishing things like that,
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, get on those festivals too.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like doing, I also listen to like EDM music and stuff. You know what I mean? So like doing like collabing with like DJs and artists and stuff in like that world too. Like that'd be sick. So all that kind of stuff.
That'd be dope right there.
Hell yeah, for sure.
What's some advice you would share to the youth coming up right now?
Honestly, I'd say just be true to yourself, be authentic. I feel like that's like a cliche thing to say, but like, it's like, especially, being an artist, like in the early stages too, like you have a lot of people saying good things, people talking hella shit, so it's like, it's easy to be like, oh, like, are they right? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I went through that, you know what I mean? So just really honestly, like in a polite way, if you can, if not, respectfully, just be like, yo, like, fuck you, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I think is good. This is the music I like to make. This is who I am. This is what I do. And, if that, turns you into a superstar, then like, hell yeah, that's the way I would want it for someone to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's smart because, everyone's got an opinion. So if you sit there and listen to 1,000 different opinions,
yeah, especially on social media and stuff like that too. You got the keyboard warriors and, all that stuff. It's so easy to get caught up in that stuff, you know what I mean? And, I personally, have before, so, just push all that shit to the side.
Yeah. Do you not even pay any attention at this point?
I mean, I peep it, but I don't. It's just like I see it from a different perspective now. You know what I mean? Like, because there's always going to be somebody that's doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to win over the whole world. Yeah. I wish it was like that, but and that took time. Like I used to really like take offense to stuff like people like, oh dude, this sounds like trash or whatever, and that stuff. I definitely heard that early on. But yeah, just kind of you got to build a thick skin for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So. Just whatever that process looks like, just push it to the side.
Yeah, when you're sharing your art, there's always gonna be critics, and it's just got to be.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when your music's vulnerable, you know what I mean, and you're talking about things, that's what my music looks like, so it's easy for people to, pick things from songs, and be like, whatever. So. Yeah.
So what do your fans mean to you then?
They're everything. Like, I don't know, just seeing like the support and like. Just like the feedback and like the little community of people that, just like always are sharing my stuff and like, always repping, like reposting and like, repping merch and stuff like that. Like it's really cool because like at the end of the day, I know that it's bigger than myself. It's not like, the music's a small part of everything, you know? So like just, the people that do show love and the people that do, comment, all that kind of stuff that I said, like, they're super important to me, you know what I mean? Because not everyone does it, but, the people that do, they don't have to, so that shit's super cool to see. And, moving forward, I want to, like, find ways to, like, do shit and, like, throw events and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, they're what will keep me going as an artist, because without them, them and the DJs, what am I gonna do? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Or else you're just making music for yourself.
Yeah, which I'll do regardless. I love making music, but if I'm trying to pay the bills.
Real shit, man.
Yeah, for real.
Anything else you're working on right now, CARSN?
Shoot, just music and trying to think of ways and things to do to like I said, throw shows and, plan events and, just a lot of planning to do stuff, like I mentioned earlier with clothing and dropping merch and stuff like that. So, racing will definitely be involved with that and, Instagram and, social media will definitely see that kind of stuff. So just to make sure of everything really, I'm just going to keep working and, see what goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, plug your social media and give any shout outs you'd like to give, CARSN.
For sure. Shout out to Digital Sauce, shout out Evan, Mello, Jody, shout out Trim, shout out Metro, shout out Mafia, everybody, the whole team. Y'all can find me on Instagram at ILYCARSN. All streaming platforms, you can search me, CARSN. Go listen to One Drink Away, go listen to Sex and Nicotine. Y'all catch me some more real rock star shit. Appreciate it.
43 triple S, Valencia sound like triple X. With my family playing this music, I'm a trippin' thug. Double C's,